Again, my chess friends. This is Jeremy with Chess Cruncher, and this is one of my games as Bags. I'm white, and my opponent is black. My opponent's name is Yo, and I won this game in 45 moves. It was very an intense battle. It got down to like 1 second. So I want to show you the intensity, and I hope you enjoy it all the way to the end. So let us begin. D4, G6, C4, G7. Yeah, G7, Bishop G7. Knight C3, D6, E4, the modern defense. H6, F4, taking the full center, the four pawn phoenix. E6, knight F3, getting all my pieces ready. A6, bishop D3, bishop B6, B6, bishop E3. I see how I have all my pieces in the center. They're all defending the pawns. They're also getting ready if I want to push the D or the E pawn. Because if you notice, the knights are protecting those two squares, and it would be supported enough to actually take that position, because it has 3 versus 2 for defenders and attackers. That's what I mean. So he goes B7, trying to put some pressure on my E4 pawn, and I don't worry about that. I castle, I get everything ready, and I'm now ready to attack. So now one thing I have to do is place my queen and open up the lines for my 2 rooks to be connected, and that's usually when you attack, when your rooks are connected. So he goes E7. I go E5. I'm now taking the center, if you notice. It's very well protected. If he takes, I can either take with the F or the D pawn. He has king moves. I go E takes D6, opening up his position like I can. He goes C takes D6. I go bang, C5. He goes pawn, B takes C5. I go D takes C5. Then he pushes, because he knows if he takes, I can have a discovered check with my bishop on D3, and it could do a humongous amount of damage to his pieces. Okay, I go bishop B3. I'm getting ready so that I can push my queen to B6. If you notice, there's a check there, and he'd have to intersect with his queen. And I also can, if I wanted to, swing my bishop over, push the pawn, and put my bishop over and check also. That's an option. So I'll show you what I do. He goes C6. I go A4. He goes D7. I go A5. I'm locking down that position. No pieces are moving, and I'm going to start the attack right now. He goes rook D8. I go C2. I'm getting ready to swing my queen over to E2, and then I can attack the A6 pawn. He goes E8, getting out of the pin. I go A to B1, getting ready to push my B pawn to give protection to the A5 and C5 pawn. He goes bishop takes C3. I go queen takes, because remember, we want to keep my pawn structure intact. And he goes F4. That was a mistake. He opened up his position for a rook, but I decided to keep with the plan of checkmating the king. Go for the checkmate. It's not about pieces. He may that was distracted. Otherwise, I would have pulled my queen all the way out of the position. He would have had a chance to defend. I can't have that. You have to go for the takedown. And he goes queen h7. I go d2. Queen d2. Now, when I remember, I'm just going to swing my queen over. He goes e7, trying to make room for his king, if you notice. I go e2. Like we said, there the pawn's going to drop, and I'm going to have 3 passed pawns. It's going to be beautiful. He goes g8. I go knight e5. I'm getting rid of that one knight that's protecting the pieces. If you notice, he could have an ability to attack my pawns with that knight at d7, so I'm going to get rid of it. But he actually takes, so it actually benefits me, because now I take back and I control all the squares along the kings. If you notice, I control b6, I control d6, and I also control f6. His pieces are all stuck on the third rank, third or second. I mean, his third or second rank. But I'm now gonna snap off his pawn, because he has not enough defenders to, even if he brings his bishop, the light square bishop, back to b7, I still can smack off the pawn. Then he would take, and then I could take with my queen, and I would be a pawn ahead, and I also again have the potential of pushing my 3 passed pawns up the board. He goes king d7. I go bishop takes a6. Bang! He goes rook a8. I go, sorry about that, ain't gonna do it. He goes bishop b5. I'm sorry, b5. My pawn goes b5. Because if you notice, my plan was, now his bishop can't move anywhere. I was thinking, should I take or should I push the pawn onward? And I thought, if I do that, yes, there's a potential of getting a queen, but he has 2 rooks on the back rank, and why not get a free piece for a pawn and open up the lines for my rook to come in? So it's a win-win. So of course you know what I decided. B takes c6, check. Plays knight takes. I bring queen to b5. I go queen b6. Yeah, you're thinking, oh no, you lost it. Nope. I go rook takes, knight takes, and then rook takes again. If you notice now, I again have the 2 passed pawns. And I have a strong position. His queen is stuck on the 7th rank, and his rook is stuck on the 7th rank. So he's in big trouble. He goes e7. I go rook c1. Now let's get the party started. He goes f7. I go, nope. He's running away, and I see now that if I can bring my rook to b7, he'd have to take, then I could take, and it would be a skewer of his queen to his king, and I'd be a bishop and another the light squared bishop and a dark squared bishop ahead. Plus I'd have 2 passed pawns. He would have to resign. So he goes g7. I go bishop b5. I also see that I can bring my bishop, if I needed to, down to e8 check, and that could work too. Then he'd have only 2 moves to go to. He can only go to e7, or he could go to g8. I think there's 3, but I didn't play that. I'll show you what I played. He played queen f8. I played rook takes because he made a mistake. This was a 1-minute game. And if you get too far behind, you start getting all flustered and you make mistakes. So he made a mistake. He lost his queen. Then I played bishop to a6, getting ready to bring my rook up. Rook to b6. If you notice that now my whole plan is set in motion. I can now protect and walk up my piece. I'll move my rook over to d6, and it will protect the c pawn all the way up to c8. Walk it all the way up to c8. He goes d7. I think, yeah, this is my opportunity. So I bring it over. Yeah, he takes. I can't believe he takes, but he does, and I'm like, that's the game right there. I know you're probably thinking I'm gonna go back. Why not take with the other pawn? If I do that, then he gets 3 passed pawns also. My one pawn actually barricades in, and he can only move 2 of those pawns, and my bishop would protect that. Otherwise, if he has 3 pawns in the center, he can kick my bishop out, and it would just be a disaster. And I saw that, so I played the correct move. C takes d6 check. He went d7. I went, I don't think so. So I went bishop c5. He pushed the pawn. I played check. He went back to d8. Nowhere to run. I go check. Don't think so. Then he goes there, and I'm like, I see a 3-move checkmate. So I'm gonna do it, and I hope you enjoy watching. Bishop c6. Pawn. Check. I'm gonna step back and allow you, my friends, to see how did I checkmate. And there's 2 things I could do. I could either turn my pawn into a queen or a rook. Exactly, I turned into a queen. But like I said, I could also have turned it into a rook and had the same thing, because my bishops produce a wall. It's like having pawns in front of his king. There's nowhere he can run. And with that, Yo got checkmated, and I hope you, my friends, enjoyed it as much as I did. God bless, and I'll see you next time, as always. Bye.